joining me now is Tom Bower, King Charles's biographer. Tom, very good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Let's talk about the new king in a little bit, but first of all, your reactions, please, on a quite extraordinary service and a unique occasion in our history.
Well, words are not sufficient. I mean, it has been the most astonishing day and magnificent and wonderfully choreographed. I mean, the work, the precision, the meticulous organization, only Britain could produce such an extraordinary spectacle, full of meaning. It isn't just for the sake of it. It all means so much. It's 1,000 years of history. And I think it's just magnificent that so many heads of state came. I thought the Archbishop of Canterbury's sermon was to the point. The singing was wonderful. The parades, the soldiers were terrific. Everything. If I may just say one thing, what is fascinating today is, in my view, that so often the death of a statesman or the death of a monarch, one says it's the end of an era. But what has been so extraordinary about this week, and with the climax today, it's the start of a new era. It has been brilliantly organized, that somehow one feels, well, long live the old. We all have our absolute admiration for the Queen, but now we must look to the future, which is very much what she wanted. She planned so much of this transition. She was so brilliant in organizing over the last years, not only her service, but also to make sure that her son inherited the crown with a queen who just put to bed all the controversy of the past and has managed the best she could to make sure that the monarchy survives in this country. And I think that's what's so marvelous about today's proceedings. We just didn't feel it was old-fashioned. We didn't feel in any way that it was somehow a relic of the past. It looked so much the present. And that's what's the feeling I just had throughout this whole morning, that it was so relevant to our lives today and in the future.
And perhaps because of those so many personal elements laced in, the Piper, the Queen's favourite hymn, it really did feel like an extraordinary family occasion, if you like, as well, of course, a global occasion. But Tom, you've obviously written at length about Prince Charles. Now, not everything you wrote in your biography about Prince Charles was necessarily praiseworthy. It was an honest biography, and certainly from your point of view. But you've been impressed by his readiness to step up as head of state and obviously the country's new monarch since his late mother's death some 12 days ago.
Absolutely. I mean, when I wrote my book, The Rebel Prince, in 2018, 4 years ago, there were great doubts whether Prince Charles would be able to manage to become King Charles. He had attracted so much controversy that there were genuine fears that the public would not accept him. I mean, even then, it was already arranged that he'd visit all 4 kingdoms to try and cement the reign, but would he be able to manage it? I think in the last 3 or 4 years, I must say, ever since the book was published and the welter of criticisms were poured out into the newspapers, he has changed dramatically. He has sought his hardest to make sure that he has dropped the controversy, that he is a man of the people, the people's king in some ways, and he has done his best, I think, to make sure that the transition does work, and the public is given the hope that he will be, in the end, the people's king, that he will not be the man who, in the end, sowed a lot of unhappiness and confusion. It's not easy at 73 to change your personality and character, but I think he is trying his hardest to do it. And I think Camilla is helping him. I think that Prince William is helping him, and I think he's got a much better staff around him now, who are giving him better advice than he was receiving in the years before I wrote my book.
Tom Bower, biographer of, I was about to say the Prince of Wales, of course, now King Charles III. Thank you for your time.